Andy Richter, it's a pretty great legacy to have, to be maybe one of the best late night sidekicks. I know that sounds dismissive, but there's a lot of comedians and actors who are desperately trying to make it big, and to be considered such a late night staple for decades is pretty good work. The thing is, when I was growing up, the Conan I was familiar with didn't have Andy in it for a while. And the reason why he wasn't there has been written out of the history book. Conan got late night and Andy came back, and that was pretty much the story. What happened was Andy got his own sitcom, Andy Richter Controls the Universe. It lasted for 19 episodes and was canceled. Then he went on to famous bomb quintuplets, the premise being, what if there were quintuplets? If you're curious, yes, that's where this joke from Arrested Development comes from. The thing about Andy Richter Controls the Universe, it's one of my favorite shows and I love it a lot. I get kind of sad that this has been written out of the history book, so if I could. Andy Richter Controls the Universe stars Andy as an aspiring short story writer who's working as a technical writer for a big evil company called Pickering. What sells it is less the standard premise and the fact that it's weird and quirky. And we often get Andy imagining how the world goes. It'll break into random songs. A thing Andy picked out of his ear will suddenly speak to Congress. It has a strange sort of meta structure, and we see the world more as Andy sees it. One of the recurring bits is Andy talks to Mr. Pickering, the founder of Pickering Industries, all the time. And if you're curious, yes, Conan O'Brien guest starred, and yes, that is one of the best episodes. It almost feels like an American take on works of Edgar Winter. I meant to say Edgar Wright, not Edgar Winter. It was created by Victor Fresco, who went on to make Better Off Ted, which in many ways is the spiritual sequel to Andy Richter Controls the Universe. The thing with Fresco is it always feels like he should be on the level of somebody like Greg Daniels, who kept bouncing from great show to great show, really influencing it, but it just never happens. His most successful show, which means it lasted more than 2 seasons, was Santa Clara Diet, the zombie Drew Barrymore show. Unfortunately, it didn't work out, which sucks. Then Quintuplets came. Nobody watched that. Then he went on to make Andy Barker PI, which is another really good show nobody gave a shit about. This one was co-written by Conan. The premise of this one is pretty simple. Andy's an accountant, and because he rents an office that used to belong to a PI, people keep thinking he's a private investigator. He solves a variety of cases with his 2 neighbors in a strip mall. I really love this show. It's a perfect comedic detective show. But unfortunately, I knew this thing was dead on arrival. I come from a time before streaming, and I remember them releasing all of the episodes on iTunes in one day, and that was a death. It's one of those things where it's like, they were both great. They were both really funny, well written. They did nothing wrong. Too bad. Again, where he is now is really nothing to sneeze at. I'm sure he would have liked those TV shows to succeed, but they deserve to be remembered, I guess.